Okay, so we are on the 5th of December, last month of the year. The year obviously so far has flown by, I'm sure all of us will agree. And the Nifty is at 8,500 odd. So what we want to see is if there are any fireworks left, or what the Nifty might do for the rest of the year, next 3 weeks. So this is the chart updated till today as usual. And yeah, all right. So anything you particularly notice in today's?
I have an overarching question on this, Musa.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, was reading up about the Santa Claus effect in the advanced economies, typically in UK, Germany, US, and especially in Japan.
Okay.
They say all you have to do is invest start of December, sell close of December, and then sleep for the remaining 11 months.
Okay.
So, is there something similar in the Indian markets?
In the Indian market?
Yeah, Indian observation.
I'm not sure. So on an unrelated but related note, sometime back, we keep talking about this Diwali effect, where the market tends to rally around Diwali time or pre-Diwali time and October. And I remember doing this about 3-4 years back, and I'd given this as an exercise in one of the EQNS courses, and asked anybody who was interested to go look at the last 10-20 years data on the Nifty and see if there is actually a Diwali effect. And what we were surprised to find out that actually there is no Diwali effect in the Indian markets. That means, this thing about buying the stocks before Diwali, let's say a few weeks or a month before, and then waiting and then saying we'll get money. It just doesn't seem to be something which is there in the Indian market. So is the Santa effect in the Indian market? I really don't know. I mean, so I don't have a really opinion on this, and if there is, then it should be supported with data, right? So that's what I have to say. Right. So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think we're going to do the research and
yeah. So if in case you find it, by the way, do let us all know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So basically, it'll be simple. You'll need to find the what?
Start of December, end of December.
Yeah, and see how that moves, whether that is there or not. Right. All right. Any other question?
No.
All right. All right. So we might have someone else joining. Girish. He's coming after a very, very long time, almost I think 2 years. Once upon a time, he and I used to almost on an everyday basis discuss markets. So he got busy, I got busy. So if he joins, then great. All right. So he does his own blog. I'm not sure what the blog is. If he joins, I'll ask him to put out the address, and quite knowledgeable. Okay. So on the markets, anything you particularly notice, all you EQNS fellows? There's a particular pattern there. Does anybody have anything to say on that? It's on your screen. No? Okay, more than bearish engulfing. Anything else? Because the bearish engulfing is really not, that big, but there's something else which is a little more prominent, perhaps. Okay. So when I say it, you're going to break your head on this. So there's something like a tweezer stop on this market. So if you can see the highs here, all right. So that will really be the level to watch for now, right? So there's a tweezer stop and a pretty precise one as tweezer stops are. So let me just put it out there. So the high for Thursday, 8626.95. Then here the high 8623 and the high here 8617, right? So sometimes 3 points within each other. So that's a level I think we need to start looking at specifically and see if the market really is able to break that 8630, let's say, right? It's gone there 3 times in the last 1.5 weeks and not been able to really break out of that. And in addition to that, what we have is, so expiry got over last week. We did 8,600, and then we really didn't, go beyond that in any convincing manner, right? So have to see how the market will perform. You've got the MACD flattening out, but though that's in a pretty positive, healthy zone. And you have a MACD negative crossover, yeah, corrects it. But, it's still in a pretty positive zone. So at the very least, I think we are looking at short-term market perhaps not really going up, but in the long-term strength is still there. RSI has dipped, stochastic has dipped, and coming back to the engulfing bear that Madhu mentioned, well, in a sense, you've got two of those, one here this week and one last week. Though this is not really an engulfing bear, but if you combine these 2 days, then yes, it was. So you're having definitely some clear resistance building up right on top, and just a question of seeing whether this is now going to break out or it's going to provide some significant resistance going forward. My take usually has been, coming back to the Santa Claus rally we were talking about, that December seems to be a dull month for the Indian markets in terms of activity. It's generally at the end of the year. Basically, FIs are the big guys, as we all know. They're taking their leaves. They're going, home, maybe at Christmas or whatever it is. And at least, if not the Indian managers, the managers abroad who are probably managing that money through their foreign offices are definitely in holiday mode, right? So I'm not so sure about how much more FI activity happens in December. So I would not so much be looking at Indian activity, I'd be looking at FI activity, and I'm just saying that usual thing, global markets or rest of the world, holiday mood, so not much happening in India. 1 week already over, you can basically write off the last 1 week of the month in terms of New Year, Christmas, and then you've got such as 2 weeks of, I would say, any meaningful trading activity that goes on. So all put together with this tweezer stop at 8630 and the MACD and the RSI, I don't think that at least the overall market is probably going to go much higher from the current levels. Yeah, so that's my view on the Nifty. So I wouldn't overall markets wise perhaps look at anything significant on the market going up. Of course, individual stocks and indices could have a very different story, and we'll have a look at that. But broadly speaking, I think that's where we are, so we just leave it at that. I think valuations wise, I don't have what happened last December. Yeah, sure. So yeah, this is last December. So we went flat for December and Jan last year, right? So for that matter, well, let's have a few more December. So if somebody can just keep tabs, what happened in December? So went flat. Okay, so this is another December here. This is 2012, and it sort of went flat. Jan did well, but December didn't do well, and you can see that the end of November big spike, but December was flat. And then some more Decembers, well, this was a down month. This was 2011, and bottomed out, but definitely was not really going up beyond any resistance. So that's another December. Yeah, here's another December, right? So this part, this December, from this bar to this bar, I would definitely say bias on the upside, and towards the end of the December actually made a pretty good rally in going up. But the thing is, the market was overall coming down. In the other ones, you've seen that the market was here also, the market was overall going down, and then just sort of put a bottom here, and in this case it rallied up. Then here's another December, more of a flat month, went down. Then the last week it went up, but nothing meaningfully up. And then here's another December, right? So in the beginning of the part of that month it really went up, and then sort of closed midway of the total range. If you look at the whole of November and December, not too much of a difference, though the bias is definitely up. And then some more Decembers. Well, this was a December before the crash. Market went sort of sideways in December. December is here, right? This 2007 really didn't go up, more or less flat over the last 3 months. And then here's another December. This is 2006 December, actually a fall recovery, more or less flat. And then here's another December. This was definitely a much better December, strong one, but I think the first strong one that we saw in over 6 years or more. And then here's another December. So this was in the bull phase, right? So the secular bull market, and wow, this was fantastic, 1,600 to 2,000, like 20-25%. And this was just as the economy was sort of opening up. This was your run up to the UPA 2 elections. And then here is another December, slightly up. So we saw about 11 Decembers. I would say 2 or at least 3 of them up during the secular time, but I think the rest of them were either neutral to maybe slightly bearish. Would you agree with that assessment? Do you have any other opinion? All right. So are we in a bull market? Yes, we are in a bull market. But from the indicators wise, and I think all the other stuff, at least for now, short-term resistance is clearly there. Can we expect a sort of, let's say, 5% or 10% rally? I don't think so. I would probably say that more or less it has just it will stay flat, and who knows, might actually go down also, right? So that would be the overall assessment of Nifty. Right, so I don't know about Santa rally in India, Srini. I hope that, I don't know, it's not a comprehensive or a statistical analysis, but just an overall assessment, right? So good, okay. So thanks for asking that question, Sid. Right, and okay, welcome to Girish, he's online. So Girish, welcome. If there is anything you've got to add or say, please feel free to jump in. All right, so this is the Nifty. So let's jump into the sector indices. All right, so we have the banks which have continued to go up, and the bank Nifty definitely looking technically quite strong, though one small concern is that the size of the candles have become small, but in terms of indicators, everything is still, I would say, pretty healthy. Definitely no question of shorting banks. Banks are probably the place to be in, and we've been saying that for, I think, at least 2 months now. Right, so as the bank Nifty, I would say banks are one place that at any time you have the correction, you should use that to enter. So in terms of this RBI policy out and discounted, so possibility of rate cut next year is very high, right? So I think that's something that the economy is going to look forward to, And actually, if you look at yields on government bonds, right? So the 10-year benchmark has already fallen by 0.5%, right? So that just indicates that in the future, interest rates are likely to soften, right? So this happened actually on the same day as the RBI announcement. Uh, so the market is already factored in softening interest rates uh, as is almost a guarantee, right? Okay. I just put it on mute, sort of background noise. Right. Okay. So if you just need to say anything, just unmute yourselves. Thank you. Okay. So that's the bank nifty. Definitely a sector to be in, and any dips in the banks are things to buy. Next, looking at BSE power. So this resistance still very much in place. There are two levels. So the power stocks are definitely not to be looked upon right now. I think till last IMR or before that I was talking about possibly buying it if it went up. But now that the RBI has actually not decreased rates and all that, the benefit of lower rates has not yet accrued to any of these companies. So you just stay away, and only if a clear breakout happens then buy. Otherwise it's best to avoid fresh longs. Realty index, all right, so this is definitely now breaking out. So this was the level we said to watch out for, 1700. 1700 is now breaking out, though small concern about the long upper shadows. I think DLF is the prime mover here. It also moved well today, but realty is possibly become a buy now. So there's some talk about the Lavasa IPO going to happen. So realty might be a place where interest is again picking up. So it's interesting that just to mention, I don't know how many of you saw Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's interview posted on Money Control on the occasion of the 15th anniversary of CNBC TV 18 and all that. I think I sent it out on WhatsApp to some of you. You might have received it. So he's not very bullish on the real estate price space. He says next 2 to 3 years he doesn't expect real estate prices to go up. That doesn't mean real estate companies will not do well. If the interest rates etc. go down, then they could still do well, but real estate per se might not do well. So just pointing that out, just in case somebody read that, it's not necessarily in conflict. So anyhow, reality place to watch for sure. Right, so that's I would say query, but yes, if it is, then possibly a multi-year uptrend possibly building up in the realty space. It's just sad that we don't have an ETF or something like that to invest into it. So this is interesting. CNX IT big drop today. Does anyone have any news? Anything happen? I'm not aware of anything. So something has definitely happened in the IT space. Should not be buying it anymore. It's a pretty strong red candle. The whole week has actually been bad, and today's is just showing down. So IT. So whether we should be looking at shorts in IT, for sure 11,900, 11,950 will be stiff resistance on the CNX IT index. Mid cap, right, continues to show strength, has definitely rallied. So I don't know if again mid caps are becoming the flavor. So the large caps have sort of not so interesting, but the mid caps have definitely done well this week. Nifty Junior also has done well this week. All right, so I was looking at Nifty stocks, this IMR. Not sure now whether we should be looking at Nifty Junior stocks actually. Okay, so energy continues to do badly. Bit of a surprise, I'm honestly, because with crude oil going down, not really sure what's going on here, but if this is more heavyweight with things like ONGC and cane, that would explain it. And then right, infra will come back to, so the BSC infra. Yes. All right, so CNX Pharma, so we've been saying over the last month that pharma could be a place where the up move is tiring out, and I think finally getting more evidence on that today. Big red candle, so pharma possibly going out of flavor, which is interesting because this is typically what sector rotation could be. So pharma tiring out while reality is actually perhaps going to pick up, and bank nifty continues to have strength. Right? Pharma and FMCG were the two places which had a bit of a concern. All right, PSU banks. So bank nifty did well. PSU banks also okay, but a lot of shadows. So need to be a little cautious perhaps in the PSU banks. Okay. Okay, so BSE auto now. Just skipping through those other indices which you normally don't pay too much attention. So BSE auto has gone up, and there were some good auto sales reported, some 10% up. But we've got dojis last 2 days, and we've got another doji spinning top sort of thing here. So our auto is sort of coming to sort of temporary top at least. Who knows? Okay, consumer durables really not able to break out of this level. You should really move it there perhaps. Not a space we actually look at, but they are struggling. Capital goods, okay, trying, but that level is going to really be stiff resistance to cross 16,800 on capital goods, right? But once it does that, by the way, just to draw your attention, that's a pretty good consolidation that we have for the whole of this month, or rather this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And let's say this month or next month it breaks out of 17,000. There's likely to be quite a bit of fireworks on capital goods. This is really good consolidation in my opinion. It's had an up move from 9,000 odd to 17,000, doubled virtually without any correction, and this is the correction that was badly required. So this is both a price and a time correction on the capital goods space, and let me put that down. So nice 6-month. All right. So capital goods multi-year resistances right there, and if it breaks that, then very definitely looking at going back to its life highs. Some of the stocks like L&T are already on their way; they have broken their life highs, but more will join. So those of us who are interested in things like Bharat Forge and all should probably be holding on to your stocks, right? Okay. FMCG, so this has definitely been a surprise of late. HUL, etc., doing tremendously well. So not sure where the strength is coming from, but yes, it's a clear breakout. So, and that breakout continues today. Is anybody aware of any news? This gap, massive gap. Something must have happened in the FMCG space, either HUL or ITC. I think it's ITC that's really gone up. Okay.
No, I think I read somewhere that ITC rallied big time. I think I read
Yeah,
somewhere.
but on what account? I mean, ITC yes, but do you know the reason?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Sure.
I'll get it ready.
Okay. So this is the healthcare index. Apart from the pharma space, the healthcare space, and sort of a double top there, right? Again, like a tweezers top over 2 months almost. So that's quite significant. More significant here than, let's say, the tweezers top we saw in the Nifty. And this could actually put a ceiling on the healthcare pharma space for some time. Metals, All right, so metal still struggling. Really could be a time to get in, could be a time to get out.
Musa?
Yeah. Yes, Srini, go ahead.
Musa, yeah, shares of cigarette companies rebound on ban rethink.
Ban rethink. Ban?
Remember a couple of weeks?
What's the ban?
Yeah. So 2 weeks back, there was a ban proposed in selling cigarettes in loose quantities. So you could only buy a packet.
Uh-huh.
And that put stocks of cigarette companies, including ITC, heavily down.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a government rethink on this ban, and that is pushing ITCs for the news.
Ah, okay. So there you have it. So events have overtaken the stock, or have overtaken technicals rather. So great. So that's where the strength comes from. Well explained. Thank you, Srini. All right. So BSE metals getting squeezed between this multi-year support here at 10,700 and the downtrend line here at 11,300, right? And just a question of whether it's going to break out or break down. NMDC cut iron ore prices in line with global fall of iron ore prices for the last several weeks, as we all know. And well, NMDC not a major index constituent of BSE metals, but lower iron ore prices definitely mean that steel companies benefit, input costs go down. Whether they will pass it on to the consumer and therefore maintain margins, or they don't pass it on and they keep their margins, may let their margins become higher, I think that's the thing to watch out for. But this is at an interesting juncture, and definitely some trading opportunities here are I think entirely possible. The 200-day moving average is there, the 100-day, 50-day, there's a cluster of resistances and supports here, and just a question of this either breaking down or breaking out, right? So if it breaks down, I would think that there's not too much of a downside, and at some lower point, metals will probably be the things to buy, given the potential recovery we are talking about in India, where right now there's no sign of that. GDP has slipped again, as we know about a couple of weeks back, but still things are looking optimistic, so we'll have to wait and watch. So metals are another place to, I think, not yet buy, but close attention should be given to the metal space, right? Right. So when I say action, it could be both short or longs, but it's definitely building up, and the market basically has to decide in the next, I think within December, whether it's going to break out of this level or break down at this level. Okay, mid cap, as we already said, something that has been doing well. All right, so that's it. So okay. All right. So what do we want to do? Do we want to do Nifty or do we want to do Nifty Junior? Let's take a poll, because it looks like mid caps are again in favor. Do we do mid caps now? Look at the overall Nifty, and we do Junior next week. Okay, if there's no poll, then I'm going to do the Nifty. Okay. All right, so let's have the Nifty. So we have ACC, and ACC nice support taken at a known resist support at around 1400, 1420, and after going up the previous week has gone up again this week, and the volumes have definitely perked up a bit today. So that's interesting. There are definitely clearly high volumes today, and MACD going past the zero level. No sign of weakness at all on the RSI. So thinking that, yeah, there's really good trading opportunity here, I think. And below 1460 is 1459, should probably be a stop loss for a trader. and the next target is definitely 1540, 1550. If that breaks out, which it just might this time after consolidating for about 6-7 months, then I would say next stop is 1750, 2000 on ACC, right? Remember that there is this event risk with Lafarge Holcim deal being scrutinized by the CCI. I don't know what happened, if there's any news on that. So maybe there's some news today. If somebody can check again, good volumes on Ambuja, and it's back to its life high. So you can definitely expect ACC to follow suit. So if you're looking for a trade right on Monday and you're looking for a short-term trade, FNO, margin, whatever, I think you should look at ACC. You should also look at Ambuja, because once it breaks out of 240, which looks like it will by the looks of this stock on the way it is, with the volumes picking up. It should definitely, I think, be at 250 and then 300 on in pretty quick time. So I think you've got trading opportunities. Okay, good short-term trading ops in Ambuja, in ACC and Ambuja. Okay, so while you're doing it, let's also look at Ultratech. Alright, so nothing happening in Ultratech. So something happening with ACC Ambuja combined, and Ultratech, question of crossing 2550. If this just starts as rub-off effect of the cement space and 2550, then this might be another place to look for quick action. You are definitely looking at good support here. Okay, so 2450, really good support, and if it breaks out on 2550, then definitely hitting to 2600, 2650. But forget about Ultratech for the coming week. Ambuja and ACC are the place to be, and especially on Ambuja, if that is out, just check out on the CCI controller of Competition Commission of India, if there is any news on that, because that's an event risk, or maybe there is something going to be announced tomorrow or on Monday, and this is already the people who are on the inside who already know and have taken positions on those stocks, right? Okay, so Ambuja is definitely the one to have, and then just hold on to it, right? So let's review this maybe. So on Tuesday morning we are meeting for the derivatives class, so we should look at that maybe on Monday also, if we're doing some webinar or something, we'll see. Okay, Asian Paints, nice breakout, and looks like it's formed a nice flag, right? Very clear, and just exactly what you need. Textbook stuff, volumes coming down. This is definitely a flag waiting for the next breakout to happen, and at the very least you've got a measuring implication of 100 rupees. So if it breaks out of 800, then put an alert, and 900 is your next target, which is pretty impressive. You're talking about a 12, 13, 15% move. It's already done that between November last week and now. This is on its way up. Textbook flag on Asian Paints. All right. So good we didn't do the Nifty Junior stocks, but you know what? Might have just found better ones there. Asian Paints target 900. Okay. Boomer. All right. So Axis Bank. So Sid, you should be a happy man. So Axis Bank is at 498. It's definitely gone up from. All right. All right. So Srini, you are holding it in the spot, or are you having an FNO trade on it?
Bought at 430. It is now at 490 or something.
You bought it at 430. All right. This was post IMR or your own call?
Post IMR.
Post IMR. All right. So 430. So you're sitting on 70 rupees profit. Impressive. Okay. Cool. There's some data bug on my chart. Yeah, sorry. All right. So what was the bulky? Hi. Do you remember the target we had for Axis Bank on point and figure charting? 600 or something, right?
I think it is plus, I'll tell you 1 minute.
All right. So we had a class during the RBI policy, and then after RBI policy, right, so thank you. So 560 is the target on point and figure charts, right? So let's not get into that because that was a little new and complicated for us, getting breakout targets using point and figure, and we did that for Axis Bank. And 560 is the target based on P&F charting. So definitely hold on to it, and it's just a question of it crossing, I think, 500, and once it does that, it's made an attempt today. The high at 506, and yesterday the high at 502. Just pausing there, and like I said, anyhow, as far as banks are concerned, definitely no question of selling them. What's also nice about Axis Bank the whole of this week, more or less went flat, and the volumes have also gone down. So exactly the sort of picture you want to see. Consolidation happening, may go sideways for some more time, but there'll probably be another spike of 10-20 rupees, maybe probably more. That could just happen suddenly. Drawing your attention to this part in the middle of the chart, middle of October, 2 weeks went flat, and then from 430 it went to 460, 30 rupees in about 2 weeks. That was about a 8% move, right? And so don't at any cost leave it at this point. All right. So all the best to your profits, and definitely expect more to come on your way. Sid, did you do anything about your options? Is it just the way it was last week, or did you is your trade different? Okay, it was the same. All right, fine, take it. Bajaj Auto going sideways, consolidating, came out with some good results in the during the week, or bad results was it? It was bad results, I think. Sorry, yeah, this gap. This was on Monday. Came out with some bad results. Market went down, but then beauty of technical analysis, trend lines came to the trend line, and then it's bought up. But still not out of the woods. This could be a rounding top that is developing, and if that breaks down, then we're probably at around 2450 on Bajaj Auto. So wait and watch. But the auto index itself has gone up. So strength still definitely there. So I would say wait and watch, and enter only if it breaks above 2700 with a target of maybe 2800, 2000. So good that the volumes have come down. MACD definitely showing some short-term weakness. So are the other indicators. No need to hurry, but this is not even, I wouldn't even call this a correction, just a sideways consolidation at this point. And unless it breaks below 2500, there's no question of getting out of it. And even if it goes to 2650, 2660, you're a short-term trader who want to take an aggressive position, you should. 2750, and then who knows, next month, Jan, Feb, 3000 coming. Okay. Bank of Baroda, EPE. So this was one of our favorites in the last IMR, if you remember. So that's doing well. It's at a life high. Very unusual for, what is surprising is that this is just one of the very, very few public sector banks which are actually making life highs. Most of the other public sector banks have just, at half their life highs or 40% off. So what's strong about it, I really don't know. But yes, this is one stock to be in. And had you bought it last week after the IMR, you would also be making some money on this. It's basically gotten used to being a 1,000 rupee stock now, and 1250 or even higher can definitely be expected in the weeks and months to come. Stop loss in terms of short-term trade below 1045 is what I would say. But even then, one should really look at all dips to buy Bank of Baroda. Bharti, so really no idea what this company or stock is up to. The big thing that I have been talking about on Bharti is the threat from Reliance Jio. From what I know, last launch was supposed to happen this year, hasn't happened, could happen next year, but I think that launch is imminent. And even though Bharti has sold off its towers in Nigeria, West Africa, etc., the stock's really not performed well and looks like it's going down to 350, possible short, right? So BOB, Axis, all buys, Bharti short to 350, 350 at least, and you have a pretty good stop loss at around 383. All our spot prices, right? Okay. BHEL, so PSU company and also capital goods. As we said, capital goods have started to look healthy, and BHEL, after hitting that support here in October, has basically been on an up move. What we need to look now for is this level, right? And I fully expect that this level is going to be broken out, sort of mirroring the capital goods index. So what we have is higher tops, higher bottoms. Clearly you have consolidation going on, low volumes, and this picture I think is just repeating itself again and again. So this week, consolidation week, has happened on low volumes. So I would say, adding strength to the up move, and that would be, I would say, the trend line to watch. Right. And definitely once BHEL crosses 290, or it comes down to even, I would say 265, one should buy BHEL, and the big move on BHEL will really happen only after it breaks beyond that level. So it's another consolidation that's going on, and time price consolidation, and I would say the next target once it crosses that would be 350. That's a pretty impressive return in terms of percentages. So clearly you can see that on a multi-month basis we are definitely in an uptrend. BPCL, alright, so we've been bullish on this for months and months now on various counts, subsidy, then crude oil, and all that stuff. This is probably the worst case trend line I can put, and the question is it going to now perhaps break that? Let me just put that there. So we are at a very critical place on BPCL. Should not have any more longs at all. Sort of a double top there at 770. If you are holding BPCL, if any of you are, then as soon as it breaks below 680, just dump the stock. All right. Which country is this? One of the South American countries, Argentina or Brazil, has this thing about, they have this floating tax structure where if the crude oil price goes down, tax increases, and therefore the consumer price stays the same. And if crude oil price goes up, tax decreases, and therefore again the consumer price stays the same. I don't know if the government of India is now moving towards that. As we all know, excise duty has been increased twice, and they are taking advantage of the lower crude prices. When crude price goes back up, if it goes back up, question is whether those taxes will be reduced again. We'll just have to wait and watch. Okay, so HPCL is not in we can have a look. HPCL was actually a multi-year breakout. Okay, so that's the HPCL breakout that happened a few weeks back when it broke out from a 10-year high of 536. It's at 569 now, and HPCL definitely looking better technically than BPCL, but I would still urge caution as an overall sector thing. Technically, the thing about HPCL is that it could come down to the, let's say, one second, let me just put this right. Yeah, it could come back to its old life high, It's been one of my favorite themes for the last several months because of the state of the market, and that means it comes down to around 550 or thereabouts, 540, and then whether it can bounce off from that. So we'll just have to wait and watch. BPCL was the leader there in the oil and gas space for quite a few weeks, a couple of months now. Whether HPCL will take over or not, I really don't know, right? Okay, so no fresh longs, but if support is held in either of the two cases, then yes. And I think crude oil price for now has sort of settled down at some, what, the high 60s, low 70s. Is that where crude oil is? And the down move, at least for now, has halted, right? Okay. Gain, we said short, short, short. So bounced up last week after breaking down, and could possibly, go down again, but again the volumes have come down, and I suspect that this is on account of global crude oil falling, or the rate at which it's falling has considerably slowed down, and it's quite close to the support zone. So you cancel that short call and just put a wait and watch on Gain Energy, right? Okay. All right. Having said that, just to go back to Kane, if it falls below 250, that's probably the other time to really short Kane, and short it pretty heavily, because it would go down all the way at least to 225, probably even 200. So short-term trading, yes, but if 250 breaks, then a bonanza is definitely on the cards. Next, Cipla. So interesting. So pharma space, this don't know what to make of it. Is it a head and shoulder with the right shoulder yet to form? There's a double top there for now. So it's wait and watch on Cipla. As a matter of fact, one might want to look at selling the 700 call actually on Cipla, right? Really nothing in the can't really make a call on this. So wait, either it breaks below 800, then the head and shoulder top has formed, or let it break out of 675 on high volumes, then we'll review. Okay, so Coal India. So I think it's been 2 months or more since the government announced the cancellation of those coal allotments, and then they said they'll be within 4 months they're going to e-tender things and all of that. So I'm not sure what happened, and then there was some news about some 60, 70 odd coal blocks that do not need environmental clearance because they're already cleared or something like that. So what you have is a triangle clearly, and one of the things that I have observed and sort of seen that sometimes work out well, of course this time it may not, is if you look at the MACD here and the RSI. So the market has gone up, yes, but the MACD RSI, not the RSI so much, but the MACD has formed a sort of base formation right from, I would say, end of July, definitely from August, and now it is just sort of trying to get into the plus zone of MACD. That could mean, especially once it breaks beyond the 380, a nice trending market all the way till 410, 420. Of course, that means there'll also be some corrections in between, but that's definitely, I would say, the place to watch. That 420 target is definitely more than the measuring implication of the symmetrical triangle, so I don't even want to go into it. I would say that if you are aggressive, then buy it at around 363, 364 at the breakout, but the bigger move is going to come once it crosses 370, 375. Once it does that, then much higher levels, 400, are definitely to be expected on Coal India. Right now, stop loss for this would be only below 345, but the problem is that around 340 you've got really good support, and the 200-day moving average is there. So biased on the long side on Coal India. I think in terms of energy, coal and all, Coal India will probably still, they probably do some modernization stuff to really get them to, they sit on huge reserves which they're not really exploiting to the fullest. Just another, government company. But once that happens, then the stock is definitely has a lot of potential. All right. DLF, all right, so there you have it. DLF is now going and dealing with all those moving average resistances there and doing it nicely, I would say. No jerky stuff on it. This indicator is just going from one strength to another, one level to another, and this is probably turning around. So from the low of around 100, it's already gone up 60%. Imagine that in a matter of 2 months, and the volumes are definitely improving. Now I know there's this big down move, and this is why the volume picture is being sort of a little corrupted, but if you can get this part, last week of November and now again in December, the volumes have picked up, and let's say the average volume here was 12.8 million. The average volume here is now 13.5 million, and today's was 15 million, right? So I think, I don't know what, maybe value buying, or there's a turnaround happening, or maybe DLF is mending fences with the current government, whatever it is. It's definitely looking good now. Can't say that some more skeletons might fall out, you never know, but technically it's definitely a buy. Once it crosses 180, then 200 is distinctly possible. Dr. Reddy's, so just like Cipla, so while Dr. Reddy's actually made a new life high, this is 3 black crows, 4 black crows, definitely a lot of bearishness which has built in to Dr. Reddy's, and once it breaks below this level at around 3,340, it should probably, or I would say 3,300 is the 50-day moving average plus the Bollinger Band there, the lower Bollinger Band, and once it breaks down of that, then much lower levels. For now, definitely no, what would I say, buying this fresh. As a matter of fact, if you feel you have good profits, you might even want to sell out or get out of your longs and all that. Shorting could be done, but stop loss might be a little tricky. Would at least keep it at around 3558. Okay. I would think that trying to do something in Lupin, which has actually not turned around down yet, sorry, Cipla, what we saw earlier, might actually be a better idea than going into Dr. Reddy's. Gale, this is a pass. We're just consolidating. Let it break out or break down, then we'll review. Okay, gold. So gold seems to have stabilized for now at 2400, but again, much bigger fall could happen, and it is definitely in a downtrend. So if you're wanting to buy gold, you must definitely wait. Grasim, so that's the downtrend we were looking at. Hasn't been able to break out of that, so it's again wait and watch. I would not be in a hurry to short or sell Grasim. Consolidation going on here, and if that breaks out, then all the way back to the life high almost at 4,000. HCL Tech, so IT companies, pharma, so IT companies not doing well at all. HCL Tech definitely showing that hit today and on high volumes. So something happening in IT. If anybody knows, please share. I would say we could even short this with a pretty good stop loss around 1660, 1670, or buy the call, a slightly one strike away out of the money call, and go short on this. If 1575 breaks down, which by the looks of it could, there's the 100-day moving average and that support, then all the way to 1500 is a distinct possibility. So let's put that down. Oops. So about, I think 3 IMRs back, we had mentioned that we was a little surprised to find shorts in the market. And so, by the way, all the IMRs are uploaded on the YouTube channel of BIC, Watch BIC. So go have a look in case you don't have access to the recording yourself. And we talked about shorts appearing in the market, and now IT is one place where shorts seem to be happening, and pharma, right? Okay. HDFC. So hammer in place yesterday, and it's really not proper confirmation yet, so might want to wait and watch. I think 1150 would be a clear resistance right now, and if it breaks 1080, then we are down to 1050. All right. Okay, so that's HDFC. HDFC Bank. So it's come to the trend line, and taken support there exactly. Again, just to wait and watch. Okay, thanks for that info, Balki. Balki is saying that there's news out saying the United States adds most new jobs in nearly 3 years. So IT may go up on Monday. Possible. Can't rule that out if the US economy is improving. Right. So have to wait and watch on Monday morning before you take your call, of course. So HDFC Bank at exactly the support level, but I would still say wait and watch. If it breaks 930, then 910 is possible, but once it breaks 960, then 1000 rupees is what the next target for HDFC Bank is. Okay. Hero Motors, oh, so that's done well. I think Hero Motors, I don't know, it went up in tandem with bad results for Bajaj. So if you had to buy, then Hero Motors is probably the stock to be in. Again, a sort of flag there from 3000 to 3250. Again, observe how the psychological numbers are, are becoming relevant. Definitely no question of selling or shorting this, but another 250 rupees up to 3500 is distinctly possible once it breaks out of 3000, say 275. Okay, so another flag on Hero Motors. Target 3500. Hindalco metal stock. So metal is not going anywhere, but Hindalco clearly showing a top there. Might come to 150. It's coming to a zone of plenty of support. So no shorting, but watch. We unfortunately don't do commodity prices. One day we should start doing that. So what are the aluminum and alumina prices? Give us an insight into how Hindalco might behave. But yeah, 150, 155 is clear support for Hindalco. Might actually be a good time to buy it. And there's red candles on lower volumes, so no aggressive selling as of now. Hindustan Unilever, bang. So has just clearly broken out and gone to 850. It's now coming back to 800. Could come back down to, I don't think it'll come back down in a hurry. So after again 2.5 months of consolidation, a breakout move has clearly happened on HUL, and looks like there is more to come, but surprisingly nothing great in the volumes. So wonder. But yeah, indicators wise, everything is hunky dory, looking healthy. Stop loss for a short term trader is be only below 800. That's almost 20 rupees, 25 rupees below where it is. Unlikely to come there as of now, more likely to go up, consolidating today. ICICI Bank, God, this will now, get fixed on my system tomorrow. I don't know why my adjustments happen one day late. Okay, so we had a split. What's the price now? 364. Okay, let me see if I can take that out. Yeah. So I've been saying for several months now that, or rather weeks, sorry, ICICI Bank should be in your core portfolio. It's a stock that has broken out of its 2008 high only now, while many of the other banks have done that long time back, and it has a long way to go before it really catches up with the way those other stocks have. So now you have a split, it will make it even more affordable, and I think at 359, at least 400 rupees the stock would go to in the next few weeks and months. IDFC, again, consolidation. We have seen this pattern happen on stocks over and over again. Most of them have not broken out of their necklines, etc. And it's a question of waiting and watching what could happen. So IDFC from a trader's perspective, yeah, you need to wait for the breakout to happen or 155 great support. But like I've been saying for ever since IDFC got the banking license, just have to keep buying the stock as an SIP. When the demerger happens, you're going to be a very happy person. Okay, IndusInd Bank. Okay, so that continues to go up and up and up. Right, so we just move it up. At worst case, it'll come back to 730, 750. I doubt that, and it's just waiting to become a 1,000 rupee stock. Right, so IDFC, IndusInd, all buys. In fee. Hey. Okay, sorry about this, guys. I don't know why my database is not adjusted. So 2070. So as you can see, you don't even need the split to happen. It's actually been going down. So HCL Tech went down. Infi has been going down. We've been getting red candles, and so the volumes have increased as they would be expected to after the bonus. And I would say that it's actually gone down on perhaps higher volumes. So something definitely happening in the IT space, and this could perhaps go back to 2,000 rupees. But like Balki said, with the good employment results, would it be a totally different story for IT on Monday. ITC, cigarettes, and there's a big gap here. So gaps need to be filled, and at some point it's going to come to 365. You should put an alert at 373 on your systems. If it does come down, not if, when it does come down, you should definitely think about buying it. All right. So ITC has now definitely broken out of its multiple tops. Right, so that was the level we were looking at. That's a clear breakout on good volumes. So please remember, it's just perhaps a rumor of possibly ITC. Sorry, you'll have to buy cigarettes in packs and not lose. That may be being reviewed. If the government was really for the people, they would have banned cigarettes long time back. But again, the government is not for the people. The government is for itself. It's another business that is run with a balance sheet and power, of course. So the point I want to make is that in case that ban is not revoked, okay, or it's just a rumor, then you can fully expect that this would just cool off as quickly as it has gone up. So if you're looking at buying ITC, you should definitely look at investigating that and keep tabs on the news. Having said that, as a long-term investment, ITC is definitely still a good one. It's already been a multi-bagger. From 2008, 50 rupees stock has become almost 400 rupees, 8 times. but given all its diversification, new product lines, etc., and the expansion it's doing, ITC would easily be ₹1,000 stock in 2-3 years. You know, or even if it does that in 3 to 5 years, it's okay, be great. Jindal Steel. Okay, so Jindal Steel has clearly put in a double bottom as of now, has not broken out of the support at the resistance line, but the double bottom is clearly in place. We had put the bottom of the hammer as the place to watch, and sometime this week it just decided that enough was enough. You had a nice bullish engulfing, an excellent confirmation in my opinion, and what we really now need to look for, I would say, is that level. Will Jindal Steel break out of that, right? It's had a huge amount of bad news ever since coal block and the government changed, affecting it. So that, but early days from a trading or uh, investing perspective, need to see how it will behave there. And then remember, there's a huge set of moving averages, the long term, and resistances up there, which it will have to deal with. But still, this could, very tentatively saying this, be a good buying opportunity for the long term. It's more or less come back to its 2008 lows or in that zone. So let me put that there and say steel turning around, too early, but watch. JP Associates, not in the this thing anymore, right? Sorry. Kotak, what a vertical move. So Kotak going back to its life high, and I have to now review what I said last week, which was maybe stay away from Kotak because of the merger with ING and things like that. But with this sort of behavior, really strong Marubozu type candles and just its tendency to go up, I'd review that and say just buy Kotak again. And target 1300, 1400, 1500, who knows, right? Okay. So remember that when ING and Kotak merge, there's no dilution really of equity. They're both existing companies, they're coming together, gives it a bit of a franchise. And oh yeah, I mean, uh, last week I'd gone out for dinner around my place and I saw this new Kotak branch, which has come, after a very long time. ICICI Bank has come into my area a long time back. SBI has been there forever. Axis Bank came many years back. It's only Kotak now that I saw recently. So I don't know if you're noticing any expansion of Kotak branches in other places. If you do, share that information, because Kotak might now be expanding, let's say percentage wise, faster than the already large banks like HDFC and ICICI. Whether that's profitable or not, don't know, but nevertheless telling you that they've perhaps become even more aggressive. Okay, all right. LNT, so going sideways last 2 months. I don't know how many of you drive from Kormangla side to National Games Village and go past National Games Village. As you pass National Games Village on your right and you're going towards MG Road, there's a petrol bunk, and between the NGV and that petrol bunk is one big hoarding. For many months now, that hoarding has only had L&T ads. Um, the surprising thing is that none of those ads are about anything retail. They're all about the company, big time, corporate stuff. And only last week they changed that for the first time to what L&T does in the defense, and they had this picture of a submarine on that hoarding. Before that, it was petrochemicals. It was um, huge engineering stuff that were there on the hoardings, or it was power lines being constructed somewhere in the Middle East, that sort of stuff. But for the first time, it was about L&T's defense business that was being so prominently put up. Not sure whether that has any meaning. Where's Bobby? Bobby has come and gone, so he would have been happy to hear that. But yeah, and remember that there was this thing about a 50,000 crore order perhaps in the making for new submarines. And well, as we know, military orders are highly profitable, and L&T is the only, I think, Indian company to have built up capabilities of building a submarine. They already have the infrastructure in place somewhere near Vizag. So these are things that will take time to happen, but yes, uh, Indian defense and military needs a lot of modernization. L&T is definitely going to be one of those big beneficiaries of that. So anyhow, sorry for the sidetrack, so that hoarding, so I remembered. So now L&T has gone sideways, consolidation in my opinion just going up, and then just a matter of time before it breaks out. It's already made a new life high. There's another thing about L&T, which is that it only recently broke out of its 2007 life high there. So it's been a huge laggard compared to the rest of the markets. But again, as a company into many businesses, and there's a corporate structure being put in very slowly by AM Nayak to actually maybe in the future demerge the various units. So this is, in my opinion, a strong demerger candidate in the years to come. All right. Lupin. So of all the pharma companies, this is definitely looking the best technically. So Dr. Reddy's was not looking healthy. Cipla was iffy. Lupin still looking okay, but in case it breaks down below 1425, then probably going down to 1300. I would probably just stay out of pharma for now. It's really lost a lot of traction. And let's go to weekly. Right, so this is really interesting. Right, so this is a weekly chart, and you have a clear negative divergence on um, Lupin, right? So RSI, big drop. Okay, and you were able to see that in the daily also, but I just wanted to be sure I was there in the weekly. Let me just pull this down. And that is the divergence there. So I would say the upside for Lupin is pretty limited, and just a matter of time before it decides to go the other way. When it will do that we don't know, but divergence is definitely there. MACD is turning down. I would say one could potentially start looking at shorting Lupin and put a stop loss, an entry order, say below 1437 on the spot. That's around 40 rupees below, or check it out. You've got 1500, 1500 psychological mark just above that. It's sort of at the money. Go and have a look at whether you want to buy 1500 put on Lupin. Right. And hold it till the end of the month. So while we are at it, why don't we have a look? Live markets, equity derivatives. All right, so in 20s, 750, 250 is the lot size, and it is trading at 44. So you're talking about how much? 10,000 bucks. Not a lot of trades, just not too many, just 29 trades happened the whole of today. That's not good. Huge OI at 1540. Interesting on the call side, and 202 lakhs on the 15,000. That's so it's gone down today, right? So I don't know. The 44 or the 1500 put is looking quite possibly a multi-bagger, in my opinion, that would give you handsome profit. Yeah, definitely they are illiquid. There's no doubt about that, and that's the reason I said hold it. One of the reasons I said about holding it till expiry and not worrying it too much about trading it, because this negative divergence actually playing out and then actually falling could definitely take quite a bit of time. You never know when it will crack, but you, as we've seen, the brothers and sisters in the mm, pharma space are already showing weakness, and this has not yet shown weakness. For all you know, on Monday it will, but not as a trade, in terms of jumping out of it with a 5-10 rupee thing. Because of the liquidity issues, you're going to have problems getting out. It's always easy to get in to an illiquid market, very difficult to get out of an illiquid market. But if you're holding this with at least a view of the next 2 weeks, I would say, then I think it just might be worth looking at, right? So if it were to let's say come down to this level and that would be at around 1360, or for our conservative calculations even 1400, you're talking about a 25,000 rupee uh, profit, or not 25,000, so 250 into 100, 25,000, you're investing 10,000, and of course not that you have to lose all the 10,000, but let's say you're going to put a 5,000 rupee stop loss on that. It's a 1 is to 25, 1 is to 5 in your favor, 5 is to 1 risk reward ratio. So yeah, this might be good. So those of us in the FNO, Madhu, so if you remember that Nifty options we did, that Sampath put up a large list of and how they went up, this is something for you to track live now. Okay. M&M going sideways, 1250, really good support at this level, which is at 1225, and 1200, really good support. Might want to just, I don't know, maybe do nothing at this point. You've got some resistances up there, some supports down there, and definitely going sideways, so let it decide what it wants to do. But when I've in my opinion, I've kept seeing this, and MACD sort of does this and sort of trends up and is now just across the zero, is 0.77. It generally tends to sometimes indicate uh, bullish strength building up. So if you're willing to go down that road, then I think 1400 is the target for this, and the stop loss is below. Really honestly, the stop loss is only below here at 1171, but on the other hand, you could buy something like the 1250 put or the 1200 put and go long on the futures for the rest of the month. Okay. Maruti, so this is why, so Hero, Honda and Maruti are the reasons why the auto index is going up. Okay. And I think a lot more surprises in store from Maruti. So clear 3000 is on its way to 3500, and definitely more to come, but volumes are now tapering off. So maybe some sort of a correction could happen, and even if it does, may not be very large at this time, maybe just around 3000, maybe 200, 300 rupees, and then it goes up. But yes, a little bit of tiredness is definitely coming into that stock. Right. Okay. NMDC. All right. So NMDC, big drop Monday, trying to go up. Absolutely no strength, no volumes. Will it take support or will it go up? Tough to say. I just say wait and watch. Buying is only above 150. NTPC. All right. Again, NTPC is wait and watch. Really nothing happening between that resistance and support. ONGC. So this is the reason why the oil and gas index is going down. So ONGC is cracking, and we had said last week ONGC was a short. So Monday, zoom, it went down. Tuesday, Wednesday was a heart attack. Thursday, Friday, good days again. And ONGC below 360 should be aggressively shorted in my opinion. Really not much support all the way to 330. So where is this? All right.
Yes, just a quick input on the exploration side of things.
Sure, go ahead.
I mean,
So for go.
I work for BP on the exploration side, and in the industry, there is a very strong nervousness about the dipping oil prices. Most of the international companies, all the way from Exxon, Chevron, BP, British Gas, all of them are going through massive layoffs, if I may, to the tune of 20%, 30% of the staff to get the structure in line with the revenue that they're going to make. So unless something miracle, short of a miracle happens, it's going to be at least in the short to medium term. And when I say that, I mean at least a 6 to 1 year point. It's going to be tough for the exploration companies.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you so much for that, Srini. So just for everybody else's information, Srini is senior in a senior leadership program at British Petroleum. So he's got a pretty good global perspective on the oil and gas industry. So that coming from somebody who really knows the industry and his job, I think just adds fantastic value to the discussion. So thanks again. Just goes back to whether what Srini said in terms of layoffs. Of course, I don't think that will happen with ONGC, giving a government-run company and all. But yes, it's going to face the pressure of much lower oil prices. As a matter of fact, ONGC doesn't get the international oil price. It has to sell the oil to the refiners at a subsidized rate. So it's already at a disadvantage. And then as prices go down, it's just going to be even worse for ONGC. So I think further pain in ONGC is clearly there. There was looks like some buying that happened on good volumes at 360 support on Wednesday, but really till it breaks above 400, it's really a no-go. I would say this is another one to look at, perhaps puts. Let's look at ONGC. So okay, so really at the money options, some volume 260 this side, 1,500 on that side. Again, I think great. It's typically the same problem we keep having with our stock options. Very bad liquidity. But still, having said that, I would still stick my neck out and say, for somebody who's willing to take a view on this, the 265, 260 put. So that puts it at 8 rupees, and the lot size is 500. So you're talking about 4,000 bucks or 4,500 bucks. And if 360 breaks, then where can we expect it to be? Let's have a look. So as you can see, really no support. I would say till all the way till, I would say, 330, 335 at least. So you're talking about a possible 30 rupee downside that could happen on ONGC, and we are talking about risking what about oh sorry, I read the wrong number, I think. Yeah, about 14 rupees, right? So 14 rupees, sorry, 9 rupees, yeah, 9 rupees 360 put uh, versus 30 rupees, that's 1 is to 3. That's really something you can think about. All right. Not too many trades, of course. 300 trades done today, but yeah, you could get lucky. Could use the option calculator to find out the best price. Look at the market depth, and see if you're lucky at getting it a little cheap. This is pretty high IV, by the way. 34%, 35%, 40% IVs. Whether that's indicating fear in the market for ONGC, I don't know. 30-40% IVs are definitely on the higher side. So we know that therefore the puts will be expensive, or for that matter the options will be expensive, both the calls and the puts. But whether they're expensive from a historical perspective, we really don't know. We don't have that data. So take your call, who knows. And if let's say you go put an order for 7 rupees or 6 rupees, you get lucky, then you just might get a small fortune of pocket money this month. All right, so that's ONGC. Again, since I don't have crude oil prices on my system, it's unfortunate. But if we overlay the crude oil prices on this, then I think we would have seen, as crude oil started to slip, ONGC also started to slip. Right? Okay. PNB. Okay, so that continues to go higher. We saw the action on the RBI policy day itself on PNB, and today again it's gone higher, and the volumes are definitely now picking up. So PNB was one of the favorites last week. Continues to be. ICICI Bank, PNB, Bank of Baroda are what I would look at. Axis will probably move suddenly at any point, but not now. Power Grid. All right, so give this a miss. Let it wait and watch. It's doing a sideways dance. Reliance. Reliance, really wonder what's happening to the stock. It's just, so one important thing on Reliance is that's probably the long-term trend line. It's there, and today it's got a big red candle. The volumes really nothing great. However, MACD is just about sort of settling down and might be crossing over now. And there's a fantastic amount of support here. You've got a uptrend line, you've got a horizontal support, you've got the 50-day moving average, and then at the 900 you have an excellent next level of support. So at this point, Reliance, one thing I forgot to mention. So this was a weekly chart, and you were seeing the MACD crossover potentially happening on a weekly chart. This is a daily. Let me go back to weekly. Sorry. Right. So that is a pretty significant potential crossover in the making. If it does crossover, now since it's a weekly chart, we'll need another week to actually get that update. But what I'm saying is there could be some really, really good support for this happening at these levels, and we could resume the uptrend that it has been in since most of this year actually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Reliance Infra. Again, infrastructure, capital goods, except realty, infrastructure and capital goods need for that breakout to happen, and then only get in. Otherwise, stay away. This could actually fall till 550. Could be a potential short with a very, very good stop loss at 617. And once it actually breaks down from here, let's get that line. Okay, once it breaks down from here, then even 550 is a distinct possibility. All right. State Bank of India. Okay, so again a flag here on SBI, sideways movement. MACD, however, little not so healthy, and 350 is a possibility. By the way, there is I don't know how many of you know of the website called avaz.org. It's an international group of really active volunteers who take on all sorts of social causes and environmental causes, and do petitions and governments, and they've been very successful at governments also to roll back some of their policy. Now there's one thing going on our campaign right now to petition State Bank of India not to give the 6,000 crore loan to the Adani Group for building the coal terminal in Australia because of the damage to the Great Barrier Reef. I did sign up for it. I do keep signing quite a few of those Avaz petitions which I relate to. And there's also something about you can go, they've given a link to State Bank of India's Facebook page and asking people to put in their comments there and put pressure. They've already raised, I think, 7 lakh signatures, right? And at least one thing I know about Avaz is they're not going to do some dumb thing like try and get that automated or get some Autobot to make signatures. These are all genuine, authentic stuff. So pressure is going to build. Whether it will work in terms of cancellations, we don't know. But pressure, public pressure is there. The other thing to know about this SBI thing is that there's been a huge pressure in Australia against the projects that could affect the Great Barrier Reef. As a matter of fact, several $1 billion have been removed by ordinary folks who have deposited their money in Australian banks into banks which are not giving loans to the similar projects, right? So a lot of environmental push that is going on in Australia. So those big Australian banks which have given loans to the various projects in Australia are facing the heat, though none of them have right now agreed to cancel their loans. And those banks which have not given the loans have been the beneficiary of depositors moving their money from the one bank to the other. And the general consensus opinion is that this trend is going to increase, and banks will now have to be even more careful about what their depositors want and the public opinion. In India, definitely we are far away from that, but SBI, I'm not sure how sensitive it is to global pressure. They would probably give a damn about what the Indians say, but this is an international campaign and that might just have some impact. Will that impact the stock market or SBI stock? I really don't think so. There's already some controversy about that in India about I think 2-3 weeks back, and who knows? Actually, the stock, SBI stock might actually favorably go up if SBI reviews the loan, right? So something to keep in mind, but otherwise 350 is on the target, and for now the worst case is I would say 295, 300, at which point probably be a good time to buy it. Okay, SSLT. So interesting. So SSLT now showing signs of going up after this big hammer. It hasn't gone down, and this week it gave a nice bullish engulfing. All right. Plus the volumes have increased, so SSLT might now be going up again. I would say could consider buying it with a stop loss below 222, 221, and once it's above 250, especially above 265, then 280, 285 is definitely a target. Okay, Sun Pharma. So Pharma also dropping. Sun Pharma also dropping. So I think that loop input is really looking attractive now. should really consider it. So if anybody takes that position, let me know. I'll probably just track that stock a little bit closer. But Sun Pharma also, yes, 800 next target, and once 800 goes, then 750, and really excellent, I would say. Stop loss at 860, 865, probably will not go wrong at all. Yeah, so whichever pharma stock, I think you should really look at shorting it. Which one was the one with the negative divergence? Lupin? Yeah, I hadn't put, yeah. All right. So no question mark now. I'm removing that. Oh, sorry. Which one was that? So you're looking at Sun. Tata Motors. Okay. Feeling the squeeze. Double triple top at 540. Volumes coming down. So it's wait and watch. End of the year doesn't tend to be a very good October, November, December. But quarterly results could be a surprise. Like I've been saying, the new vehicle Zest has really done well. Looks good, nice fit and finish. So I wouldn't say short it, but if it does break down and it comes to, let's say, 500, might be a good time to buy it at that time. And once it clears 540, 550, then 600, I would say, is on the cards. I would even go and say, if it comes down to 500, buy the call option at that time. Tata Power, I'm going to, just say skip on this, let the power index break out, let something meaningful happen, and then we can review. Volumes have shrunk considerably. Even none of the indicators are showing any direction as such. There is potentially a symmetrical triangle there. Okay, and just have to wait and watch which way this moves. No way to predict. Tata Steel, just gliding on that trend line. Not a very good sign. Volumes again, nothing to take home about, nothing in the indicators. Wait and watch, because if it breaks down, then it's very quickly coming down to 430. If it can take support here, then it could perhaps go to 500. Wait and watch. As a matter of fact, on the other hand, for the rest of the month, those of you who are familiar might want to actually look a short straddle. So sell the 500 call and also sell the 420 put. So let's look at that. So 500 call, you will get 2 rupees, 3 rupees. Lot size is 500, not too much. And the 430 put is also around 3 rupees. So 6 rupees, 6 times 5, 3,000 bucks. So not a great deal of money, but you could consider that actually. Okay, shorting the 500 call and also shorting the 430 put. I really doubt whether it's going to move beyond that this month. TCS, whoa, TCS also down. So something has definitely happened. So Balki, I mean, what you said about the US results, great, but something is happening in the IT space. More than that, you now have a tentative downtrend here. Lower top, just a question of forming a lower bottom. So Just check if there's any other news or whatever. HCL Tech, now TCS, and then let's look at, so this is TCS is probably getting to heading to 2500 and then to 2400. And Tech Mahindra, okay, there you have it. Tech Mahindra also deep red candle, and Wipro, deep red candle. So something has happened in the IT space big time. This is not company specific. This is something there, even though volumes are not there everywhere. Something has spookified the IT companies stock. All of them will probably go to whatever the next lower supports are, and I think they are worth shorting for at least a day or two next week. All right. Okay. So yep, that's it on all the Nifty companies. Are there any requests? Take a one or two. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting. And then we'll close for the day. Yeah. Keep forgetting to add it to my list. Thank you. Okay. So Z clearly forming a rounding top in my opinion. Can't read the volumes. MACD has done a crossover. And everything is showing weakness on the indicators. And I would think you have to watch the break of this neckline. So that would be at 366 rupees, 365. I think it's going to break it. If that happens, then at least 350, and then who knows, maybe 340. And if you take a measuring implication, it's from say 390 to 365. We're talking about 25 rupees. So 25, 365 minus 25, we're talking about 340 as the target. So yep, clearly, I mean again, it's had a straight run up almost from 280 to 390. That's almost 50%, almost 40% without any meaningful correction, and I think that's what is happening right now. Okay, weekly chart on Z now, and you can see weekly bearish engulfing. Right? So I would say, yeah, one would look at shorting this. Very good stop loss, I think, at around 381, 382, definitely at 395, and once this breaks down, then 350, 340, distinct possibility on Z. Okay, any questions? I like this. Any stocks? Next 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes? No. We run back. See. Consolidating. All right. Again, showing that red candle that almost all the other pharma stocks have shown, and I think it's a question of breaking this really important support around 310, 313. If it breaks down, then at least 590, possibly 560. Really doubt whether it's going to go up above 660. Of course, there's a Ranbaxy Sun, I think, merger that's being talked about, so I don't know about that part, but technically I would say it's headed down. Arvind, okay, so Arvind is consolidating for the last 3 months, October, November, and now December. It's within the range of 275 to 300, and again on the volumes also exactly doing the same thing. Tough to say what it's going to do. Can only decide once it breaks below 265. I would say for those holding Arvind, you can put a sell SLTP order at around 260, 265. And if that happens, just get out of it. If it breaks out, 330, 335 is the next target, and then that's when we will really have to review. But long term, again, 14-year breakout, these stories don't end quickly. Could go up much higher beyond 350 and then 400, 500. I just have to be patient about it. But from a short-term perspective, it's a sell below around 267, 265, 262, whichever. It's basically here the 250-day and sorry, the 100-day moving average and the Bollinger Band right there, which are going to provide lots of support. And then there's a question of whether it can break down. Even if it does, the thing is, fantastic support around 240, 245, 230, at which point it could just stop going down and then make a base to go up again. Okay, anything else? Somebody had requested for Allahabad Bank. Where is it? Oh, ABK. So just like any PSU bank, this one first of all downtrend over. That's for sure. That's the worst case downtrend line that I can think of right now. Good, best fit. So we'll just leave it there. It's exactly there. I really doubt whether it's going to. It's going to definitely provide resistance in the short term, but I doubt whether that long-term resistance is going to happen. So it's at a, well, just there, as you can see, but the volumes have definitely picked up on the bullish side. MACD is looking healthy, in my opinion. Worst case scenario right now, I would say 124, 122, at which point probably get really good support. 145, and once it clears 145, then definitely all the way possibly to 172 and then 200. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Any other stocks? No? Okay. Great. Okay. So overall, I would say just to quickly review pharma stocks and pharma stocks especially and IT. Something is definitely happening there. We've got a set of stocks that we have found for shorting. The auto company, sorry, the bank ones are definitely the ones you still want to keep buying. And there's some good trading opportunities in ACC Ambuja, and then in Asian Paints for a flag, and all the other the banks again are still good buys. Okay. Yep, that's it. This weekend is an unusual weekend. Again, no class. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about or meet up or sync up informally outside of BIC or class, then do let me know. We could do something. Okay, so signing off. Recording will be available hopefully by tomorrow lunchtime and will be uploaded. So have a look and have a great weekend. We'll catch up next week again. Thank you and good night.